action. Got our weekly race come up tonight. It's a shard hunt featuring randomized item magic, so this could be a quick one, this could be a long one. We'll have to wait and see. The most curious piece of the party tonight is that while the players were allowed to choose their whole party, in the first slot was the only place they could have a fighter or a red mage. So you can only have one of them, and you can only have one or the other. Elastoid, top left corner, has gone fighter, so too has Shilesia in the top right, Tyrannex in the bottom right. Artea is the lone red mage chooser in the bottom left corner. Of course, the rest of them have a nice spread of black mages, white mages, and thieves, which you would expect to see in a race like this. You want a variety of magic, you need the ability to run away, so they've all done that. In a shard hunt in particular, you can scamper around, collect those shards. You might not have to face the fiends at all, so the ability to run away with the thief is going to come into play big time. This race should be underway momentarily, and we'll see how things go. The first thing that everybody will be interested in is the magic available in Corneria, and what Artea's red mage has access to will be a real decider here about whether or not he made the right choice or not. The fighter class, definitely the best in a low-level sort of situation where you want to get your hands on some good weapons and some good gear. The fighter and the knight have the best access to anything like that, and Artea, without one of those, could be really strapped if things turn sour and he can't get what he needs for his red mage and has to do some grinding. He does have some black belts. If he's got to go muscle bound, that's the way he set up his party. Everybody else is going to try and stay a low level, lean and mean, I'm sure. Get this done as quick as they can. As you can tell by the fact that I just won't stop talking, I am solo tonight. So it's just going to be the Nits show. Hopefully we get somebody in here to join me. We've reached out to a few other people, but such is the case with live broadcasts and schedules and IRL, it's just me. So buckle up, fasten your seatbelts, and let's get this started. Timer has kicked off. We'll be underway in a second once the runner streams catch up. Here we are. Perfect. Tyrannex right off the bat. Gonna shuffle his party around. And the first thing we're going to see on his screen in the bottom right corner is the black magic. We've got Fast and Saber at level 1. That is the kind of stuff that Artea might be excited to see for his red mage if he needs to use them. On the white side, we've got Heal 2. Nothing too exciting. We have fully shuffled shops. Excaliburs for $65,000. That's max price. Not going to be too useful, I don't think, tonight. Opal Armor and Fire. Looks like we've got caster magic shuffled tonight. So there are some gear in this game that cast spells. And I didn't catch the icon, but it looks like one of those spells that has been shuffled is fast. We've got a Vorpal sword that Elastoid has found right off the bat with our shuffled entrances. Harm 4 for sale, white mage only. And did I not mention shuffled entrances? Joining us in the commentary booth, this is exciting, is Melee Wizard. On short notice, to get somebody with such a versatile skill set is great. For sale in Corneria, we've got houses for $7.96, not bad, and bottles, reasonably priced, heals, softs, pures, all pretty good. Also had an early wear sword. When you've got an entrance shuffle like this, and I apologize, I didn't even catch that in the flags, excuse me. That's a pretty big deal. That means you can head right into the Corneria Castle entrance to find some early gear usually. There's a pretty good chance it's not going to be dangerous, as 3 of the 4 starting entrances are encounter-free. And indeed, here's another one. We've got the Northwest Castle at the Temple of Fiends entrance. Nothing to do here yet. We have no Mystic Key. We have no Crown. So we're just going to have to head over to the Dwarf Cave entrance. We've got full open progression and extended open progression. There's a lot of walking you can do, and a lot of sailing will be possible as well. The Dwarf Cave
Gaia.
is Gaia, and there's the voice of the expert Melee Wizard. Thanks for joining me tonight.
Yep, no problem. I had my mic muted for some reason. Probably because I had just come off of tracking duty elsewhere.
It's always better to be muted and think you're not than to not be muted and think you are.
Well, if I wasn't and thought I was, I'm sure someone would have said something by that at some point.
Anyway, it's always a pleasure. Thanks for joining on such short notice. We've got a shard hunt with randomized shops and entrance shuffle, and so far we've got rune swords and wear swords available, and looks to be an even match.
I believe I saw Excaliburs and Vorpals for sale too.
Some high-priced stuff, yes, reasonably priced houses, but very cheap cabins. So if you don't mind not having electricity or running water, you can get a much better deal. Artea, right off the bat, looks like he's doing a bit of an early grind on these imps, and he's just barely winning this fight with these level 1 black belts. Oh, and right off the bat, you buy the bottle and you take it to the ferry to get the canoe. That's a power play from Shylezia. We'll see if everybody else is quick enough on the draw there with the early bottle and the fact that Gaia is so quick off the bat. I didn't even realize that, and there it is.
Yeah, it's nice when things kind of come together like that.
Yeah, that's just how the sanity checker works. If that makes the game beatable, that makes the game beatable. That was just randomly drawn, you know? Random bottle in a random shop, and randomly right over there is Gaia, and next thing you know, you've got that canoe from your incentivized ferry. So, pretty good break for Shylezia right off the bat. He's looking strong here.
So, looking from the party compositions, it looks like there were no forced for this one?
There were no forced party members at all, but in the selections, they were limited. So your primary character, your first slot, was the only one where you could pick a fighter or a red mage. So you can't have more than one of either, and in fact, you can only have one of either. So everyone has picked a fighter except Artea. He took a red mage. For the rest of the slots, you could have almost whatever you wanted.
And I see there was a Fog 2 helmet in the Temple of Fiends.
Fog 2 helmet, you know, it's not spectacular, but it's very similar to an Invis 2 white shirt. So, comparable spells with comparable effects, and very handy this early on. It looks like the Temple of Fiends is entered through the Northwest Castle entrance, so we'll be able to defeat Garland early. We don't know where Corneria Castle is yet, so we can't get much out of defeating him, but at least it's a start.
Yep, in the future, when taking Garland out now, whenever we do find Corneria Castle, we can get both items right away.
Yeah, that's handy, and I mean, if it happens that we never find Corneria Castle, because it's a shard hunt, we might never have to go there, you definitely have to defeat Garland to get past him into Topher anyway, so this is something you gotta do eventually.
Right. And you're already here, and I saw a Brack shirt for sailing Gaia.
How was the price? I didn't catch that. We've got silver swords, rune swords.
I didn't catch the price on it either. I just had to do a double take on seeing the shirt itself.
Yeah, with our shuffled magic and shuffled shops, I wouldn't be surprised if everybody's got a stack of Brack shirts before long. Looks like Shylezia has made short work of Garland. He's going to continue on his adventures. He's got plenty of cabins, I think, to make a bit of a trip down to Elfland Country and see what's down there. Oh, he's going to hit the Marsh Cave entrance first.
Aha!
This is a nice detour because it's a bit out of the way, and if the entrance is a bust, you can just reset back to your tent right away.
Ooh, wow!
Lucrative, lots of chests.
That is lots of stuff. Free pro ring.
Pro ring, I believe it was an opal gauntlet. That's usually sells for a pretty decent amount. He's going to take smart advantage of the hero run here, and he's going to keep using this cabin and hit up all the chests in this room. There's 14 chests on this floor, so he's going to definitely pilfer them clean.
Ooh, there's a ribbon. And a shard.
Gets things started. It's an actual shard hunt this time. That's nice.
Yeah, we get 2 shards and a ribbon. That's a pretty good room right there.
Yeah. Get back out of here. Do a quick tent and reset. Shylezia is showing exactly how it's done early on in this race. Looks like that Brack shirt was prohibitively expensive. I don't see anybody that's got one yet. But you can't go wrong with ribbons. There was an early gold bracelet, Fog 2 helm. Everything's looking good. There it is in the Temple of Fiends.
Yep.
Now, is he going to go down a floor and see what's next? Or, I mean, you're here now. You got to do it, right?
Yeah, you're already here. You might as well at least take a look.
Huh? Little sea
And
shrine
it's a
and
dead
a
end.
dead end. So that has been so frustrating for people that there's an up-and-coming feature now to make it so the dead ends are no longer shuffled. They will remain at their original entrances in the Cardia Islands, and so you never have that kind of boring, it's just a dead end thing. It's an upcoming feature that we'll see if that gains some traction. But for now, poor Silesia has to deal with it.
And we have found our Q block, and we found Kraken. Oh my!
Yeah, maybe not.
Oh my!
So the Q block and Kraken is a bust, but Shai's already got the canoe, so he's going to head around to Crescent Lake. Kraken is worth 4 shards if defeated. 2 for the first 2 fiends, 4 for the last 2 fiends, but his party has no chance of doing that at this point in the game, so he says no thank you.
At this point, heck no.
He's still so low level that he has 2 digits of HP on all his characters.
Eek. And, ooh.
The old Sage Sarda, let's see what he turns over.
The herb.
All right.
Don't think we've seen Elfland Castle yet. But...
We have not, but it's nice to have, just in case.
Oh, yes. What's the... Are we on the XP bonus for key items on these flags?
Yeah, so I'll run down the bonuses. So prices are 33 to 300%. Normal enemies are 45 to 220, and the bosses are clamped from 100 to 150. So they're not clamped really high, but they are never going to be easier than vanilla. The EXP is only 1.5 times plus a 50, so it's cheap EXP to start, but it's increased by 20% per key item. So it's going to just skyrocket up. Within 5 key items, you're looking at almost triple EXP, and then after 10, it's just going to be like jokes. So you're going to see people start leveling up really fast once they find some of those key items. The overworld encounters are 90% of normal rate, and dungeon encounters are only 70% of normal. So it's going to be a very fast seed.
Yeah, so with such high bonuses per key item, even if you're in potential gold mode, just having the extra XP for the long haul is not something to what many people may turn away.
Yeah, nothing to sneeze at, for sure. We don't have Deep Temple of Fiends turned on, as we saw, so Topher entrance was right at the main floor. We do have the Sky Castle teleporters have been shuffled, and the Titan's Trove has been turned on, so Titan's going to be guarding his chests.
Katana and another ribbon.
We have the short Topher, but it's got all the Fiend tiles jammed in it and alternate final bosses. So the end of this game could be ruthless, no matter how easy the going is early on.
So I'm a little surprised. I'm wondering if that was that Badman encounter so bad that Silesia reset out of it, even after getting a ribbon.
Those are some bad men.
Guys, so I saw the one thing I saw them have was Exfer. I think they might have had something else, but I didn't see what it was.
Exfer is terrifically scary if the other thing they have is damaging. Be it a damage spell, an instant kill, like if that Exfer takes away your ribbon, it could be curtains. So there we go. Elfland Castle, just like that. Hand over the herb, and the prince gives us the floater.
Hello, floater.
Silesia making it look easy tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So far, he's basically made all the right moves. He still has double-digit HP, and he's about to be airborne.
Well, if nothing else, having the airship will make getting to places a bit less hazardous than having to go on foot.
Which could keep his party low level even longer, as I'm sure he's going to go around and start just picking off all the easy entrances and trying to find out where he actually wants to go.
See if we can find a good trap tile to grind off of.
Yeah, the trap tiles have been shuffled and indeed randomized, so tonight's trap tiles could be any B-side encounter, and there are some really easy ones, and there are some really hard ones. We've got everything from just random imps to the possibility of, multiple eyes, and the experience there is just through the roof. Mm-hmm. So that's what Shai's going to be looking for, something easy and high EXP. Artea pops into the volcano entrance, heads down to the Sky Castle floor. Yeah, Shy finds the waterfall. It's got a trap tile, and it's got a lot of nasty encounters. So we'll see if he can get to the end of this with such a weak party.
One thing I am seeing, I don't know if we're running beta flags or what, but I'm seeing the procedurally generated stuff is not on.
It is not. I don't think we're running any beta mode. So we're getting all the vanilla floors. Shy's not feeling that long ice floor from Matoya's cave. He's starting to become very choosy about which entrances he goes into.
Ooh, Artea finds the first floor of Mirage and gets a treasure-filled Cardia Isle, too. I think this was from the, this was going down from that Sky 1 floor.
Shy gets to Melmond entrance, and it leads to just a small floor from Ice Cave, but he's not interested. He's heading over to Titan's East if you're keeping score at home, and he's found Onrak. He doesn't have the Oxy Ale, so it's going to be a dead end from here. He's buying a bunch of tents, which I find interesting, because they're worse than cabins, and he paid top dollar for them, because it cost twice as much. But, you know, when you're winning the race like he is, I guess I can't cut him up too much. Let's see the western entrance. And it's the vanilla entrance, the backside of Titan's Tunnel. Bottom of Ice Cave. He says no thank you. It's not actually incentivized tonight, so it's probably just a huge waste of time.
Ooh, there's Crescent Lake at Earth Cave.
Yeah, Crescent Lake in autumn, as it appears. It's pumpkin season.
There were gold bracelets for sale. I think they were like 27,000, I think they were.
Yeah, he has not done nearly enough to have the money to afford just about anything at this point. But he's really just collecting intel for what he wants to do later, I think. He's just on a breakneck pace of shard collection and world exploration. With these shuffled entrances and floors, there's a huge aspect of the game that's just sort of finding out where everything is. Now he's got the slab, doesn't actually know where Melmond is. So it's just another thing to keep in his mind. It's also a key item, so another 20% EXP boost. He is very shrewdly saving the grind for later. Because if he can keep collecting all these boosts, he's going to level up like a fiend when he finally gets around to doing some grinding.
Mm-hmm.
Blastoid, picking up some items.
There's Lefane. Don't have the slab translated yet, but at least now we know where Lefane is.
And one thing, and Provoca.
There's Provoca. Another potential
Beautiful
key item and level 2 magic. Let's see what we got. Life 2.
That's actually, very nice. Life 2 is actually Red Mage learnable, so every level 2 white magic spell is. So that'll be good news for Artea when he finally gets there.
Quad X is in there too.
Nothing wrong with Quad X. Quad X, of course, can be used.
Saber Axe for sale and cheap.
A cheap Saber Axe. That's sort of a game winner. One of the vanilla pieces of gear, the Power Bonk cast Saber, and this is no better or worse than that, really. But the fact that there is one, yeah.
The fact that it's on a weapon, that makes it even more valuable in my mind.
Yeah. You got more gear slots you don't need on the weapon side, of course. That's Melee's point, right? It's not going to take up a valuable armor slot, so you can just give that to everyone in your party if you really want to, and it's not going to burden you.
And I'm now noticing that they don't have any AoEs yet.
Even after all this time, no. But he does have XXXX, and he does have a party that's healthy enough that he can defeat these pirates. They don't appear to have any danger in their attack, so it's going to be a slow fight, but an easy one. Blastoid is just meticulously picking this floor of the Sky Castle clean. There's been a lot of good gear in here. He found a katana, which is mostly useful for the war chest. The katana usually sells for a ton of money.
And then there was that second ribbon that we've seen so far.
Of course, yeah. 2 ribbons already, it's great. That's just about all you can hope for.
And Vicky has the crystal.
Don't think we've found Matoya's cave yet.
Don't
But,
believe so,
again,
no.
that's actually handy. Getting things in order is great because you don't have to double back when you do find it.
Well,
We've
there's
got
the Fog
dragon
helmet
armor.
and the Fog 2 helmets for sale.
Yeah, well, you know, maybe you want a few of those. It really depends. Sometimes you have such a nasty... we have alternate final bosses on. If you get a fight, say, against all of those phantoms, and if they're swinging hard, that Fog 2 helmet could be really helpful.
Mm-hmm. And there's Corneria Castle.
These islands are really well colonized. We've got the canal, that's a bit of a wah-wah, but it is 20% EXP boost, so too is the key. The key. It's going to let him pick this castle clean here, nice and convenient. And another 20% EXP boost. Shy has done so well with his low-level party that when he finds a trap tile he likes, he is just going to soar through the levels. It's going to be hilarious, seeing how quickly he gains his levels.
I mean, goodness knows he gained 2 levels from the pirate fight.
And there you go, finding the vanilla TNT.
Well, we know the canal won't be vanilla. We already have that. We haven't even seen the dwarves yet.
Wouldn't they be perfect if they were just right around here? He's like been island hopping in exactly the right way.
Oh,
it's Melmond.
Well,
Boy, these are just a bunch of coastal... Melmond's actually got beautiful sandy beaches this time. Unusually. But there you go, Melmond the resort.
Is Dozo Melmond on?
We're about to find out. We've got Brack and Warp at level 5.
Yeah, and I see the pack shirts are actually at about 7,000 for sailing Gaia.
And of course we do have the slab, so we can cash that in. And we know Lefane's right around the corner, so everything really coming up Shy at this point. He's just on a roll. We're only 20 minutes in. He's got dozens, at least a dozen key items. He's got the airship. He has basically found every town, just about.
I'm noticing he's not going back to Lefane to get whatever item is there.
You know what? He probably already forgot. He's been getting too much done too fast. Going for a bit of a trip this time. He's going to walk down to Ordeals and see what's at the Ordeals castle entrance. He can always reset back if he doesn't like it.
Right.
Gets there in a single walk.
And it's Marsh.
And it's the Marsh Cave.
Okay.
One place his party can actually survive.
And we get the bridge, wow.
First thing he does is find a chest with a 20% EXP bonus, because that's how it's been going for him.
But,
Artea defeats the pirates, picks up the crystal.
But
he's also begun his island hopping, so Artea now close behind.
But yeah, the Bones had ice too. And hello, Bridge of Destiny.
Oh my. Now, Warmac is merely patrolling. Warmac mode is just patrolling, so not required if he doesn't want to fight him. I don't even think we've seen this guy 4th floor with the shuffle teleporter, so...
We've got Elastoid making the trek through the waterfall.
The trek. Let's see if he can get there. Alright, Shy gets all the way to Lefane, which is actually Castle Ordeals, yeah. He's going to blow through this maze here. He might have to take some fights here if he can. This would be a fine place to get some levels if he can run into like an easy pack of Medusas or something lucky like that. I say easy pack of Medusas, but you never know. Here they are.
Okay.
Not too bad. No, he says no thank you. I would have hazarded a shot of Quad X myself.
And Artea finding another 3 gold bracelet on a I don't know where this entrance was, but it led to a shrine floor and some treasure in Cardia.
Shy throws out a Quad X against the Zombold. Not sure that had much of a chance.
Well, the regular enemies aren't clamped. There's always a chance.
There's always a chance. Zombold's got Zomble's got X-Fur, which is interesting. We'll see if he's got any other magic now. That Black Mage is defenseless. No, Zomble is defeated. 914 EXP. Gets him to level 6. And just like that, he's through.
Ooh, Elastoid made it to the bottom of the waterfall and got a ruby from the robot.
Yeah, we know that Titan's Tunnel is probably not necessary. But we do know that the west entrance is the west entrance, so now that he's got the ruby, he will be able to check that trove when he gets there. Another Fog 2 helmet.
And see where the other end is.
Artea's...
Fire shirt, Excalibur.
He won't be able to use it, but he might be able to sell it for something.
Yeah, I saw they were for sale. I think they were sale for like 40,000 or something like that, so they're definitely worth a lot.
Yeah, he ran into some vampires. They're unrunnable. He couldn't get away, of course, and they just beat him down. So he's gonna dance with the devil and try to loot this room again. Oh no, he's not. He's heading up to the next floor. Okay.
So the trap tile at the end of Ordeals was Perilisks that had Cream 8. So yeah, that's fun.
Whether he said no thanks or not, Ordeals wasn't incentivized tonight either. If you're wondering what is, the main NPCs and the fetch quest NPCs, of course, we've shown that, as well as Marsh Cave, the chest that normally has the crown guarded by the wizards, the Volcano Red Dragon chest, the locked Corneria chest, we already know it had the TNT, and the Marsh Lock chest in the bottom right-hand corner, farthest from the entrance to that floor. Tyrnix waiting patiently for the Elder Dragon to excuse himself, and he grabs another shard. That was worth the wait.
I did not see what Onrak led to.
No, I don't think we know. Oh, the Onrak entrance.
Yes. But the waterfall is Elfland. And we're seeing Ice 2 and Bane. Eh.
Elastoid's going to chance the floor that Shy said no to. It's a big, huge floor, perfect square, and of course it leads directly to the straight line floor, as if designed by Dwarven mastermind architects, and then into the Earth Cave, which is, completely sprawling room by room labyrinth. So the architecture took a turn for the worse. Yeah, but we don't know what's down here, so this could be a good play for Elastoid if he gets some lucky gear. Or just a bunch of shards.
I mean, finding shards isn't a bad thing.
Artea finds Corneria Castle. He's going to be happy. He gets the important thing. He hadn't saved the princess yet, but the canal is no biggie. The knee, I did it again. I'm going to hit my knee on the table. And then he's going to grab the key and loot the chests here and find the TNT. So he's in good shape.
Elastoid's kind of in a bad position there. There were two bats in a way.
Did he pull a Jake Coper and run into a pair of bats in that hallway? That is awful.
It was, one bat came in from his direction, one came in from the opposite end.
Oh, no, he's not on the vampire floor. This is bad, but it's not...
Yeah.
It's not epically bad.
Yeah, it wasn't in the way to the staircase, it was in the way to the bottom room. Ooh, hello, there's a Zap Staff for sale at,
not a bad piece of gear. The AoE has been really hard to come by. Zap is not great, but if you can get a bunch of them and go nuts with it, it could be useful, I suppose. Artea's not one to use something so, flimsy when he's got 2 black belts that he's going to try and grind up. He's doing the opposite of what I thought. I thought he was going to throw away the black belts and really focus on his red mage, but as it happens, he's gone the other way, and I guess he's going to grind them up and do a reverse from what he would typically do.
And the crown chest had the opal bracelet. So no key item there, but it's still a nice piece of equipment to have.
Lastoid has found the bottom of Marsh Cave. Yeah.
Yep. And he doesn't have the key, so...
Doesn't have the key, no. Isn't that just the way? That was the room that Shy took one look at and took off from. He's been getting lucky and making all the right moves tonight. See if Artea... No, he skips the bridge. And he makes to the vampire floor.
Mm-hmm.
But without the rod, he says, why bother? And immediately takes off.
Don't blame him.
No, nothing in there for him. Here's a trap tile for Lastoid. 3 R bones. Probably not worth the time, he says. And Tyrannix finds the entry floor of Mirage. It's got a bunch of chests all packed closely together. See if there's
another katana.
A couple of cloths, somebody's dirty laundry, giant sword, a soft. This is a total bust of a floor so far. A shard, a soft, and a bunch of catmen.
Well, soft potions aren't bad. They're usually the most expensive potion to get, so if you can find them for free, that's all the better.
Yeah, Shy pretty much holding hands with Tyrannix here as they both clean out the first floor of Mirage. He doesn't have room for the wooden armor, and he's not too worried about it either.
No.
Artea looks like he's just dancing with some airs on the Bridge of Destiny. I'm not sure what he was doing here. Gets out.
Maybe he was trying to get a level or two or something, but one of his black belts definitely...
He's going back in. He's looking for a level upper fight, I guess, with one black belt. Okay, there's that Zap Staff. This is a pretty bold strategy, Cotton, and we'll see if it pays off. I mean, if he takes out 2 or 3 more of these guys... Oh boy.
Well, it's working.
And then the oh, that's going to work.
Oh, 15,000. Dang.
12, 13, 14, yeah. That's classic Artea. Right tool for the job, recognizing what he can do with that zap stick. Is it going to be useful in general? No. But if you can find a super hard place with enemies that you might be able to luckily zap, and he'll be the first to tell you got to get a little bit lucky for that strat to work. And it has. Big payoff.
So looking at shard counts, I saw Tyrannix had 7, Shylesia had 9. Didn't see what Artea or Lastoid has at the moment.
Yeah, the Shard Hunt mode was released in the early last year, but it's really found time to gain a lot of traction at the race level, so we haven't built any trackers yet that show it off, which is hopefully something we can remedy in the near future as this gets more popular. It is fun because you can be behind and find a motherload of shards in a room that no one else goes to, and there are a lot of different ways to win. You don't necessarily have to be able to beat all the fiends to do it, and I just like how it's really anybody's race, because it takes away a lot of those blockers. If there's a really hard boss or something, just forget them until the final dungeon. You still got to get through there.
Yep, of course. And I think Elastoid's got 10 shards.
Yeah, look at that. I wouldn't have put him down to be amongst the leaderboard because of how smoothly Shy was sailing, but there you go. You said he only had 9.
Well, no, also Shylesia had been kind of dipping in and out of places, kind of skipping places that didn't look immediately...
Right, that's true.
Didn't
do
look
a
like
lot
it
of
would
exploring,
immediately pay off, while
yeah.
Elastoid might have been just digging places as he went.
Yeah, he's done a lot of exploring, but not a lot of actual looting. That's a good point. You know, in chat, we've got an observation from Joe Main who says, I like Shard Hunt because it makes chests more valuable to check. You kind of never know what you're getting. I agree completely. It kind of flips upside down, though. I'm just going to skip everything and go to the incentive locations and say, I'm actually going to check everything because any chest could have a shard that could help me out. I agree, and I really like that mode for that.
And it also helps when you have, say, just an immediate entrance to, say, Kraken or Tiamat, so that if you're like 3 or 4 shards off, you can have that in your back pocket.
Yeah, I like that part too, where you're like, okay, I'm so close. Where do I find one shard? Where can I find one shard? It's maddening. Just go kill some fiend that you skipped earlier. We know where Kraken is. Artea just one-punch-manned Garland, rescued Sarah. We'll see if he heads all the way back to Corneria Castle. He knows where it is, but he might not bother, depending on his routing.
He's only reviving the other black belt.
Yeah, it looks pretty clear to me that he's just going to go dual black belts and hope they're good enough. He's got one at a pretty high level now, so that one can hopefully carry the other, I think is his plan. And Elastoid makes it to Corneria Castle. He's going to get his key and canal.
Yay, you did it.
3rd time's a charm. Alright. Speaking of Kraken, Shalesia heads back there, and then he thinks about it, and then he leaves again. But here, he's found the cube block, and he thinks about that and leaves again, because he doesn't have the cube, I don't think. And then he was like, now where was I going? And I'm not sure where he was going either.
Yeah, this is the thing, because I have run entrance shuffle before. You either need really good memory, or you need to take some notes as to which entrance leads to what, because otherwise you're gonna get all mixed around, and goodness knows my memory is crap. So thankfully there is a tracker out there that can help you keep track of this sort of thing.
Yeah, entrance shuffle is an exercise for the brain. Entrance and floor shuffle combined is very hard to keep in your head.
And we saw
I'm trying tonight and failing. And then you've got the forked paths, like Sea Shrine entrance that Shalesia just entered. The right path is a dead end, the way that normally leads to the mermaids, and the way that normally leads to Kraken.
We're at Lich.
Is Lich, and he's going to take out Lich for the 2 shards, I think. His party looked strong enough, and, 2 shards is 2 shards.
And Artea's back at the Bridge of Destiny.
Yeah, his party now. He looks like he's going to go for the mother load here and get the 4 shards from Tiamat. That's big money if you can do it.
Mm-hmm. Well, with the Brack shirt, and
if he's got 2 Brack shirts, he's got a pretty good shot at taking down Tiamat. It's on the first floor, so he can just keep trying.
I think he may only have 1, but
he's also got a zap stick that he can. He's not even going to bother with the zap stick.
Hit 3 for 3. Brack is ineffective, and Tiamat leads off with Sleep.
Oh, he's got a pair of Brack shirts, I think. There he goes.
Oh, yeah, so he does.
Broken into pieces.
There we go.
Game, set, match. Yeah, if you've ever got access to Brack, you can use it with equal effectiveness on both Tiamat and Kraken 1. Kraken 1 is usually very dangerous to your party if you're trying to do that kind of thing, because often attacks with a lot of power. But that is a perfectly effective strategy for dealing with either of those 2 bosses, and frankly, that's a great way to get 4 shards.
Meanwhile, Lich came out with Blizzard.
We've got Darude Sandstorm Lich up there, looking good on the desert background.
Mm-hmm. Seems kind of fitting, but with the whole undead thing, and there's Blaze.
Casting Blaze in the desert? I'm loving it. You better watch out, you're going to get cooked.
Well, thankfully the physical attack didn't do much, but... Okay, down goes Lich.
There we go. Cooler heads prevailed in the scorching heat. And Shy picks up a couple of shards for his trouble.
Brings Shy up to 11. Artea finding a couple of Sarias. I want to say that was in Ordeals?
That's mad EXP money for how easy these guys normally are. So Artea knows that. He's going to stop, take the time to beat him up. Sarias are normally, I think, worth about 50% more than an Agama, something like that. And there's 2 of them, and he's got mad bonuses. He's picking up 6,500. It's a trap tile.
That was the trap tile, too. Wow, yeah. I didn't see that when Shalesia came through.
He might... He's just the kind of guy that he might come back to that. I'm not sure how much work it was to actually get to that trap tile if it's worth his time.
Wow, that...
Yeah, Zap works
Zap
good
staff.
work on the undead.
Right.
See, undead often resist death, right? But they don't resist time. Nothing does except chaos. So Zap doesn't have a great hit rate, but it works really well against low MDEF enemies that normally resist other death attacks. And the mummy is one of those. You learn something new every day. LCB816 in chat says, I didn't know you could zap undead. You sure can. They all resist death, but zap is time elemental. Nobody resists that except chaos.
And I saw that little one-frame window on Artea's screen. So Artea's up to 13 shards now.
He was always a threat to win. The guy's always a threat to win. He's going unconventional with the dual black belts. I don't think anybody would think that. They would get preoccupied. Can I have a fighter? Can I have a red mage? What am I going to pick? What am I going to pick? Artea says, I'll take neither. And he's doing well with it.
Oh, yeah. But as long as there's solid strategy, just find what works and keep doing it till it stops working. Ah, okay,
Yeah,
so on-rack led to the other side of Titan's tunnel. Okay.
Ho 4 fires. Not bad EXP if they're easy. I think Shy's just going to cook it out of there. Of course he finds 4 fires trap tile in the ice cave. That's beautiful. Mm-hmm. That's floor shuffle, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, he didn't grind the Sorias. Greg, are you talking about Artea and the 2 Soria trap tile?
Most likely, yeah.
Oh, it must be with the 2 BBs, of course. That must be what he's talking about. I agree with you. I'm actually going to made a note here in my little jog book to ask him about that at the end of the match. That is exactly the kind of thing I love to say, hey, this seemed obvious to me, but you didn't do it. Why? That's how I learn so much about this game.
Well, you probably, there was also the thought of he didn't know what the last trap tile was with the Paralisks. Maybe he wanted to see what those were before he committed himself to something.
Oh, yeah. So sometimes you go to the last trap tile, and then you're like, okay, that's perilous, and you go back to the other one, right? As long as you're not worried about... Yeah, it's risky. Yeah. It's risky. Yeah,
because since the Paralisks had cremate, and if they're spamming that, getting out might be a bit of an issue.
Yeah, that's pretty bad news. That's true. Now we got 4 mages in their best alien green.
No, that they're wearing their Astos costumes.
Yeah. Now Artea picking through the Earth Cave. It's purple. I believe that was entered from Matoya's cave entrance.
Yeah, Tyrannex seeing the Brack shirts for sale and saying, gimme!
Yeah, Brack shirts may have, in fact, gone out of style last fall. I don't think you're supposed to wear a Brack shirt after Labor Day, but no big deal. He's going to stock up.
And so Artea does have the key, so we're able to see what the other incentivized item is, though this isn't it, but it is a shard.
Yeah, that's alright. Cleans this one out. There's a couple of trap tiles around this chest, so it looks like he's going to be diligent and check them all. Maybe an even better grind. 4 trolls is not a great grind, but he's going to zap them just the same. Apparently, they're super easy to zap. They practically wanted to go to the 4th dimension.
Well, if they want to, might as well accommodate it, right?
4600 EXP, that's not bad, but zapping 4 guys is a pain. With the... Okay, and he's going to come up here. Oh, this is a classic trap from the Hall of Giants.
Ooh. Gerpedes are the trap tile at the floater chest, but they hit hard.
Risky. Shy clears out the ice cave. Might not have known that it wasn't incentivized. He's now, I think, going to get out. He definitely didn't fight the Gerpedes again.
Well, just because it's not incentivized doesn't mean there's nothing in it.
Alright, last incentive chest is also trolls. I'm guessing it's the same trap tile as the other one.
Most likely.
And he exiles all those fellas off to the 4th dimension. Getting some good work out of that zap staff. I said it was going to be useless. He's turning out to just murder the game with it, and then grabs the rod.
And one benefit to having these have Artea's 2-man strats, that means you only have to buy 2 Zap Staffs instead of 4.
I wouldn't be surprised if he brings his party back and just gives everybody a Zap Staff. See, they say the musket revolutionized warfare because you could find any old farmer and stick a gun in his hand. You didn't have to be a mounted knight and train for years. The Zap Staff is Final Fantasy Randomizer's musket. You can bring any idiot back from the dead and give him a Zap Staff and send him out there. Alright, Elastoid taking on some sea snakes. He is swinging a mass moon by the look of things.
Really? Is he now? I didn't see.
I'm not sure where the heck he found that, but that'll be his little secret. Yeah, they're selling houses in the 4th dimension for just a single euro, but you have to invest 10,000 euros in bringing it back into the current dimension, and a lot of people are kind of dicey on investing.
If you're talking about what I assume to be the fighter, I don't think that's Masmu.
Oh no?
I couldn't tell you what it is, but it didn't quite look like it to me.
But did it do the damage?
I wasn't paying much attention to that.
We'll find out. He's confidently swinging away, so... Yeah, maybe not. Need more information. Tier next in Pumpkin Spice Crescent Lake. Checking out the magic.
3 is alright.
He's just window shopping. Heal 3 is alright. He's just window shopping.
Yeah, black magic, no.
From chat, it's explained. Elastoid has a heavily modded sprite set, as you can see. It's kind of hard to tell what his classes are, but it's even harder to tell what his weapons are. So we'll have to ask him later just what the heck he was using.
I did not realize that the weapon sprites were changed on that alongside everything else.
Well, that explains it.
And unrunnable vampires.
Yeah, these were a bad end for Artea earlier this seed, but I think Elastoid's party might be a little stronger. They're still hitting heavy.
Yes, they are. But 1 harm 4, and that's that for them.
Quad X works out. Zap Staff not doing it. Shalizia still fighting some sea snakes. His party is much higher level than the last time I checked in on him.
Yep, they're in the low teens. And the sea snakes are unrunnable, so he's got no choice but to fight them. And seeing that fire shirt in the greater than less than room, kind of disappointing.
I almost want to kick off a round of 4th dimension jokes. It's so in vogue right now, but nothing ever goes up style in the 4th dimension. Sorry.
So Artea saying no to the Wyvern encounter will be getting his Ruby in short order.
Yeah, he's only level 14 despite all this time. I thought things were going to go much more smoothly for him.
Well, he did take some time to try and grind at the Bridge of Destiny for a bit.
Right. Okay, Quanix Assurance, he's really taking his time on these seafloors. Tyrannix's finally going to get around to defeating the pirates. Their reign of terror against the good people of Provoca will finally come to an end.
So notice Elastoid's exploring this floor of volcano that I don't think we've seen much of.
Yeah, I saw Artea pop his head in there, and then I think he ended up resetting out.
Did see another katana.
Cadillac of vendor trash. But unlike a Cadillac, well, just like a Cadillac, it sells for half its value as soon as you drive it off the lot.
I think that's true for, like...
Hey-yo!
You say that like it's unique amongst that particular car brand. I'd say any car, you can say that about any car that you buy.
Yeah, you can say that about any weapon you buy in Final Fantasy 2. As soon as you take it off the shelf and pay for it, it's worth half as much.
Yeah, you're not wrong, you're not wrong. Ooh.
Alrighty, Shy's got his slab translated. He is in beautiful Lefane.
And there is a dragon armor in the Elfland Treasury, and Oxyale at Lefane.
Alright, well, we know Onrak. We found that a long time ago. We'll see if he heads there. It's a lot of work just to go through a doorway. I mean, it could lead anywhere. Is it worth your time? Who knows? Shy now has what appears to be 14 shards. He's getting there. There's still a ways to go. We're on extended shard hunt mode. It makes for a better race. You can play a short form of shard hunt where you only need 16 shards, and it's actually a nice bite-sized game. You can beat it fairly quickly, and you don't have to invest a lot of time. It's a fun introduction. But, we want a little more action tonight. This is a Saturday night showtime, so we've got the extended shard hunt mode on, and it's actually a pretty long one.
Yep, for extended shard hunt, it could be anywhere from 24 to 30, and I think we might have that full 30 on this one.
Yeah, it looks like a full screen, doesn't it?
And Artea is making his way, going for some calamari.
Yeah, that's a 4-shard roast if he can pull this one off. The $65,000 cat claw is expensive, but it's sort of a status symbol. So you don't buy it to attack people with it. You buy it to say you have one.
And Kraken leads off with Fire 2. 4 for 6. 6 for 143. Oh, and he had Saber axes. Oh boy, this is going to be good.
I'm amused by something called the Saber Axe. Is it like an axe? But instead of axe blades, it has sabers attached to the end of it?
The Kraken still hit a bit too hard, and Elastoid finding a ribbon in this top floor of Marsh. And also a bridge, which was in a linked chest.
Looks like Calamari round 2 for Artea. First one didn't go as planned. He does have a couple of Brack shirts, and he's probably using the exact same strategy. So, in the case of Tiamat is actually weak to Brack, so it does 40 more chance on its roll to hit. Kraken is not weak to Brack, but Kraken's MDef is simply 40 points worse than Tiamat's. So in the end, it has exactly the same chance of working on either, and it's somewhere around like 19%, if I recall correctly. That's not great, but if you got 2 people trying every turn, you should get it eventually.
And when Kraken's hitting for a couple hundred points of damage, that's probably the best shot you're going to have.
Yeah, I mean, you're expecting it's going to take about 5-ish. And there
you go. 5th attempt, and that it worked.
19% of the time, it works every time, right? What can I say?
Mm-hmm.
Shy picking the 2nd floor of Mirage clean. Less than greater than room's got some pretty good gear in it. One thing I will say about Shard Hunt, it can be tricky to tell who is in the lead, because even the shard count isn't quite enough to give you a super clear picture. Sure, someone may have more shards than someone else, but if they got there by defeating a fiend and the other person can zoom past by defeating that fiend later on, and this is to say nothing of the incredibly hard, potentially short Topher we've got with alternate final bosses, so this is nowhere near over, and we certainly don't have any sort of a runaway yet.
Although, I think I Wasn't sure exactly how many Artea has. I know it's probably. I want to say it's at least 20 at this point.
Yes, but he has lit both of the last 2 orbs.
Right.
So he's got the big 8, right? So now he's going to have to dig. He turns in the ruby, so we'll see what's in the trove. That's exciting.
Well, hey, there could be shards here. Which there is.
Yeah, a pro ring. Nothing wrong with that either.
No, not bad at all. Already had 1, now he has 2, and that's all he's gonna need.
Looks like all he's gonna need.
And it looks like Elastoid did indeed have the mask.
Yeah, he sure did, because he found
actually, those were for sale in Elfland. Oh
he's
my!
He's got the Mass Moon now. He found the back alley Mass Moon vendor. Just bought him off the ship. Yeah, the ship ran aground on the outskirts, crashed amongst the shoals.
And they're pretty cheap too. They're only about 20,000.
Yeah, just a skid of Mass Moons just falls off the back and crashes onto the beach.
Oh, goodness.
Sword vendor is just like, oh, let me help you there. 21,000. It's a steal.
That is just wow. And Artea finds Lich. That's going to be another couple shards for him.
Some pretty good stuff in the Elfland weapon and armor shops. Not gonna lie. Elastoid's fighter looking pretty well equipped now.
Elastoid's everybody. He's got mass moons for everyone. In chat, I don't believe Artea has enough yet.
I think he needs 30 or so, and I don't think he's got 30. He wouldn't be fighting Lich if he had enough. I'm pretty sure of that.
Right.
Question. Do you get the same number of shards? Sort of. You get 2 for the first 2 fiends and 4 for the last 2. So in total, there's 12 shards worth from the fiends combined. If you're wondering why it's not the same or why it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, there was a lot of sort of playtesting and thought that went into it, but we just sort of settled on 2, 2, 4, 4 because the latter 2 bosses are harder, of course, and they have longer hallways to get to them. And
I think that's it. I think Artea's got. I see 4 full rows of orbs there.
Well, we're about to find out.
So that's at least 24.
If this ragtag group of a couple of ex-high school football players can make it through this Temple of Fiends.
Yeah, and looking at Shilesia's screen, it is just 4 rows of 6, so that's 24, and Artea's still checking these last couple, these keylock chests in Topher, but...
Well, it shows that we gotta get our eyes checked. We thought we saw 30, and it was just the smallest amount, 24. And here we are, Artea taking stock. He's gonna heal and save, and he's going for it. Once the bats get out of his way.
Of course. I was about to question about where the loot was, but I guess we don't need it here.
Alright, we got Tiamat 2 on the left.
So now, are the fiends on the left and right side, are they randomized?
They are randomized once when the seed is generated, but then of course they remain that way. So if he doesn't want to fight Tiamat, he can try going right, should he perish here.
I guess it was more of a question of, are they the same on left and right side, regardless of seed? I guess you already answered that.
Oh, sorry, no. Yeah, there's 4 trap tiles, and each has 1 of them. So it looks like he's going to go the other way.
So I was thinking, like, if Tiamat was on the left side here, Tiamat would be on the left side every time, but I guess not. But,
no, it's all 4, 1 in each spot. So he's got Tiamat one way and Kraken the other is not pretty. Mm-hmm. He's going to actually go back to the Tiamat side.
Well, yeah, Kraken tends to hit kind of harder.
You got damage poison on one side and crack attacking on the other side. Buckle up. I think he's going to have to do some grinding, and we're going to have an opportunity for some other people to catch up. Oh, my goodness, yes.
Yeah, that's going to hurt. That is definitely going to hurt. Okay, so where's Artea going to go?
I don't know. He's seen the writing on the wall. He's out of here, and he's not going to come back until he can one-punch that thing, I think.
I want to say...
Revisited have increased MDef. They sure do. They are almost impossible to kill with instant death magic. And almost everything is liable to quote-unquote miss and not do double damage. They also resist a lot of stuff as well.
I think I saw one of Artea's black belts was at around 27. So.
That also explains why he was no longer attempting to use Brack or anything like that to defeat Kraken or Tiamat, because not only do they have increased MDef, they also have far more resistances.
And Artea is going to see those mass munes, and he's not going to buy them. Okay.
His black belt's, level 27? He's just on the borderline where he would be out punching them anyway, so I don't think he's going to waste his time.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but if he's like, where were you, 20 minutes ago?
Notice he had just unequipped the armor on one of them.
Yeah, you always get to that point where black belt's natural absorbs equal to his level. Of course, you don't get your ribbon bonus if you have no gear equipped. But he's going to go natural for the level-derived defense. That implies to me that he is about to do some serious grinding, and he didn't want to forget to do it later.
It was more of the point that he unequipped the armor from one and not the other.
Is it possible that one of the two has a ribbon? Because if you have a ribbon equipped, you lose your armor bonus.
He has 2 ribbons, I believe.
Oh well, and now I'm simply not sure. He's going to go back to his friends, the Red Hydras. Pretty good EXP, and if he can zap them to oblivion, or then, zap 1 or 2 and punch the other 2, I think this is what he's going to settle on.
Mm-hmm.
He might just start punching away, because honestly, it takes 2 turns to punch him down. How many... Can you possibly get them all dead in 1 turn of zapping? I don't know.
Although, these airs hit decently hard, and they're pretty tanky, too.
Alright, as we tick past the hour mark, we've had one runner touch the Temple of Fiends Revisited, and we've got some pretty nasty Fiends, Kraken on one side, Tiamat on the other, so it's going to be a grinder for sure. I just want to point out Elastoid top left corner, Shilesia top right, Tyrannex bottom right. It's Artea on the bottom left. My name is Nitz. Joining me in the broadcast booth, not named, Melee Wizard. Knows the scene really well, jumps in, helps out, and does commentary and plays a ton of games. So great to have him along for the ride tonight as well. Doing the tracking, Deng Wu. And our restreamer is Manochi on Randomania. Thanks for hosting us and often hosting the Final Fantasy Randomizer Weekly. Great people, and we love being a part of your channel.
And a comment from Trenton in chat that grinding black belts is apparently not something Artea is accustomed to doing.
No, he is so far from his wheelhouse that you can't even see the thing.
Oh man, that was about was that about 20,000 XP from one encounter? Holy cow!
Yeah, he's got big time EXP boost now.
Yeah, and I think this is why he unequipped everything from just one of his black belts, because I figured he was going to be leveling up the other.
Yes. All of that stuff I said about, natural level bonuses and stuff is true, but he really did it to get that guy killed, which is the other reason you want to equip everything.
Which I guess, why do a double black belt grind when you can do a solo black belt grind?
Yeah, he's getting mad EXP here.
And an interesting encounter on the Elastoid side, unrunnable slimes.
Not a bad encounter. Slimes can be hard to kill, but they're worth a chunk of EXP too.
Yeah, but if you don't have fire magic, it's not an easy thing.
Yeah, Mr. Garrison, you're gonna have a bad time meme for sure. At this point, I think he would be happy just to get past him and fight Tiamat.
Mm-hmm.
And Tyrannex gets the Fog 2 hat, finds a shard, picks up the ruby from the one robot.
So I see our Shilesi is up to 16 shards.
Well, question from chat. Why do you have the thief in the first position instead of the fighter? So there's a tiny bonus to whether or not you get ambushed or surprise the enemy that comes from whoever is your party's leader. And thieves at the start of the game, it's an advantage they gradually relinquish because other classes almost catch up. Will reduce the likelihood you get surprised and will increase the likelihood that you ambush your enemy. And that's not me playing, by the way. That's Tyrannix.
I think Shilesi is doing the same thing. Having the thief in the front. Unless I'm
I'm sorry.
The sprites.
Yeah, I was reading chat and confusing myself. No, Tyrannix has a thief as his party leader.
Yeah, I was saying both Shilesi and Tyrannix appear to be doing the same thing.
They're both doing it. And yes, it can also be a perfectly viable meat shield as well if you really don't want your fighter to take attacks as soon. Not a great meat shield because thieves are usually going to get pummeled pretty quickly, but
I see,
something's better than nothing.
So I see Artea did revive everybody and move the Brack shirts onto the cannon fodder, as it were.
Yeah, so here, trying to brack one of these fiends, we're looking at, 3 in 256, just barely 1% chance. But hey, he must think it's worth a shot, and he is literally going to try. There can also take a hit, of course. If Tiamat chooses to physically attack, there you go. Free turn. Boom, just like that.
And I think the Tiamat 2 had Poison Touch for whatever that's worth. Ooh, but even after one dose of Brack, it's still 3 for 3.
615 damage from the Black Belt's not bad.
Yeah, that's...
But only 172. So we know that the boss is clamped at 150% health. So that's clamped at around 1800. Down goes the Black Belt. That's bad news.
Oh boy.
This is pretty close. I don't know if Bob's got what it takes. He does not.
But
Very close.
He's going to give it another go, though.
Yeah, close enough to try again. If he gets he forgot to rearrange his party this time. He's going to be a little frustrated with that, but he's going to give it a roll anyway.
Ouch.
Shalesia, Blastoid, pretty much holding hands on Kraken 1's floor. They're going to go down there and get 4 shards the easy way.
And, ooh, the Black Belt barely survived that one. And, ow! That was 1,000 damage from Kraken. And, of course, Kraken has nuke, too.
Of course. That is ugly. Both ways, pretty hard.
I noticed Artea... Not that there's probably wouldn't be that much to help at this point, but Artea never did check those chests in that room.
That is a swanky-looking, metallic, slimy Kraken up there on Shalesia's screen, though. Alright, here we go. 6 hits, 523. That's not bad. Kraken starts with magic. He's going to get more turns. 473. 191 and it's over. Alright.
Oh,
and we know the last one's not going to be Tiamat, so he could be in good shape here.
Yeah, but if it's Carrie can still hit for a lot.
Yes, we've seen Nuke, though, so we know that's out of the pool, too. Though, although there's, tons of nuclears sloshing around, we have no idea where those are, so... And it's Carrie. He would have liked to see Lich. Ooh, 308. That's not pretty.
It's not...
Gonna throw Saber on there. He's got the tougher Black Belt in the back, so the first one's gonna take a couple hits for him. Lit 2. That's a nice free turn. Gets off the Saber shirt, comes swinging another 400 damage.
Another Lit 2.
Yeah, we know with max 150% that this carry can't be that tough, so he's going to keep swinging, and there it is. 258
Okay.
Carry goes down. He's on to the alternate final bosses. We'll see if this two-man group has got what it takes. So there's 4 possible fights here. There's a group of undead. There's chaos intermixed with some garlands. We've got a 1-2 punch of Carrie and Tiamat, which would just be heinous.
Uh-huh.
See what it is.
Oh my.
The Immortal Warmech and friends. This is going to be a brutal party for physical attackers to deal with. When you're looking at this party, they've got Zap too. That is just nightmarish.
Well, they both have ribbons on, so... and they're just trading zaps left and right. Not doing much good either which way.
Yeah, that didn't seem like a...
Although, if the evil men don't have any nasty abilities, this may not be so bad.
Oh, they've got stun. That could drive you crazy. If those Warmechs have any of their characteristic...
I think it was the Warmech that had stun.
Oh, is that right? Oh, down goes the first black belt. Whatever they do have, they're a nuisance, and it's not looking good for our hero.
No.
Just getting gradually dragged down, as if he was fighting knee-deep in a pile of snails. Down he goes. All right. He's going to have to rethink this one. Can he grind even more, or does he have another plan in mind?
Yeah, he's got information now. He knows what the final battle has in store for him. And, Elastoid's taking a stop at Northwest Castle. Does he have enough shards as well? Looks like it.
Yeah, just when you thought it might be over, no, it's not even close to over.
We have our second runner in Topher and Elastoid.
Yeah, Elastoid's got some learning to do. This is just the first roadblock. You think you get past this or Tiamat and smooth sailing? It is not.
You said the bosses were clamped up to 150, right?
Yes, but no lower than 100%. So you're gonna average around 125, and that's nice and predictable.
I guess I'm just putting things in perspective. The last seed I ran, I had bosses clamped 100 to 400.
Right. See, something like that is excruciating because you're going to get an average of 250%. And that is way harder than vanilla. Right here, what we're going to see is around 125, and a pretty, distributed around that figure. So, while harder than vanilla, at least it's predictable. But this is going to be a final fight that's going to take a plan.
And Elastoid's loading up on Fog 2s. I saw Fast go up using the Saber Axe.
This is what happens.
Loading up on those Fog 2s.
When you have a high-level party with access to all the magic, 4 party members, you can really approach these challenges in a slightly more balanced way. Buff somebody up, get the Fog 2s out. You can heal them with Cure 4, which is obviously a great spell, restores you to full health. It's the only truly great healing spell in this game, really. And in battle. Life 2 is perfectly useful, and Life 1 outside of battle, of course.
And actually throwing out a Pure Potion on top of that.
Very diligent. Now, if you can keep that fighter up there alive, 159 is a little uncomfortable amount of HP as far as I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm. And I think Arteas is going around looking for potential grind spots.
Yeah, while Elastoid's party is balanced and bigger, he's got to spend a lot of time choosing what to cast, who to target. It takes so much time, and there's still no guarantees it's going to work, because he doesn't have a ton of levels.
And remember, Elastoid does have everyone equipped with Mass Mutants, so if it comes down to just swing, he can do that. And wow, 1,135 damage, and Tiamat is down. And everyone's alive. Yeah,
that White Mage doing good work with charges of Life 2. And Life 1, I think. Going to be able to keep bringing people back.
And Artea is going back to the Bridge of Destiny. And let's see what kind of stuff Lich 2 has. So far, not much.
Shy sees the Wandering Warmech, says, no thank you. If you're wondering, yes, that Warmech's stats are identical to the ones in the final fight. So if Shy were to take that fight, he would get a really good idea of what the final battle was. He doesn't know that, but it would have been very interesting for that to have happened.
And Elastoid is at the final fight.
Now, does he have the kind of AoE that he needs to chew through these evil men so he just doesn't get beat down?
Not really.
Not really at all, no.
But Fog 2s will definitely help.
Yep, that can get their attacks down to like basically 1 damage, or however many hits they get. Oh boy. That zap is going to be ugly. I don't think he's got enough ribbons for everybody.
And Lit 2 is not doing much. Nor would you expect it to in this sort of situation.
No. Shy is going to take on the Warmech. Well, this is interesting because he doesn't know it yet, but this is giving him intel on the final fight.
Throwing up an Ice 2. Definitely did more damage than the Lit 2s did.
To dumb down the Warmech's attacks would require a great deal of Fog 2s, but to take the Evil Men down from doing 20 or 30 to just 1 is almost a single cast. So that's really going to add up when there's 6 of them chipping away.
Well, even after all those sabers, it only one attack, a swing did only 194.
Yeah, Warmech has 1,000 HP, so worst case, Warmech could have 1,500 and expected around 1,250. So that's not a ton, really, compared to some of the stuff you see here. But that's a hard fight. It's definitely a hard fight, and Elastoid is going to go off and not come back until he's ready.
But at least he knows what to expect. And
he's one step
going
ahead
after
of
the Gurpedes.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's not a high yield fight, but it's a really easy one.
Well,
They're
they're decently tanky, and they do kind of hit hard.
Yeah. He's lit the air orb, so he knows those red hydras are there, but that fight's not quite as predictable because it's just a random encounter.
Alright, Artea's back in.
Here we go again. So we never saw Nuke or much of the high-level black magic, did we? That's very interesting.
Ooh, Shylisia found an eye. Wonder if that was a random encounter or not.
If he's in the Sky Palace, it probably was.
Yes, it was. Okay. I guess for some reason I was under the thought that we were having the full encounter shuffle was in play, but I guess not. But hey, Artea got past Kraken 2, and everyone's still alive. Amazing.
Here we go. That is amazing, because he's got such a shoestring party.
So, meanwhile, Shylisia is at 22 shards. Tyrannix is at, I think it was like 14.
Yeah, a little further off the pace. Shy is very close to being in Topher. And Elastoid is there, just one step behind Artea. Took a shot at the final boss. Here comes a Brack on carry. No dice.
And the red mage is down.
Oh,
and
down goes the black
mage
mage to it too.
Oh,
I mean, never really had a chance. And even if he did get through there, what was he going to do in the final fight? Wave a shirt around? Throw out the zap stick and watch it do nothing? Waste a bunch of time? He was never really expecting much out of those two. This is all about these two black belts and their giving it. Here we go. Gonna saber up and cross his fingers, or is he gonna try and punch down the evil men?
Yeah, he's gonna split his efforts. Have one punch the evil men, the other one load up.
I like it. The weaker one is definitely good enough to kill evil men, and it's gonna take the hits. 3 out of 4 hits the way he set up his party.
And the more evil men get taken down, the less damage he gets dealt. But oh boy.
No, that's it for Bob. And excuse me, it's not 3 out of 4. It would actually have been 2 out of 3 hits that Bob was going to take versus Don. The way it works is that the top character takes half the attacks, the next character takes a quarter, and the last two each split a quarter, or of course they get an eighth. But anytime there's someone already dead, it's a reroll, So you could sort of score it as 4-2-1-1. And that means 2 for the guy in second and 1 for the character in third. 2 out of 3.
So, at this point, given what we've seen, if we're going to be focusing on this double black belt strand, I'm wondering if just going straight up to 42 is going to be required here. And Alicia finds the tail in Earth 4.
Yeah, personally, I'm surprised he hasn't decided to do that. But he's got to have that feeling in the back of his head now. He's been there and had a few cracks at it. I bet you other people have too. It's obviously very hard. This is when you decide, are you going to go the long road and grind all the way up so you can just punch your way through, or are you going to try and nickel and dime it? And I'm surprised to see him keep doing that. Question from chat, what's the nuke situation? Answer from the booth, we have no idea. I don't even think I've seen it for sale, so it's probably in a magic shop that has not even been frequented once.
Well, if that's the case, it's most likely like set level 7 or 8 or something.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's set foot in the Gaia or Lefane magic shops, or even on racks. It's probably out there. Magic level shuffle is on, but not shops or keep permissions. The typical shuffle.
Oh, there's a nuclear from Tiamat.
Shy making his way through the Earth Cave, on his way back out.
And finds himself in the armory.
Not the armory. I think that's the first I've seen of it tonight.
Mm-hmm. It was the first I had seen of Earth 4, too. Starting off with a lot of money, and there's a shard. I think that's Shilesia's last one.
He'll be happy to see that. Steel armor.
Another fire shirt. A Cure 3 defense sword. Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's just tempting enough. He threw away a piece of armor thinking it was armor. He's forgotten it's a weapon. He's like, what do you mean I don't have room? Throws away the lit hammer, picks up the Cure 3. It is, of course, the defense sword.
And there's another shard just for the heck of it.
Just for good measure. He's on to another floor in Volcano. He's just going to keep going here. I wouldn't be surprised if this leads down to the vanilla carry fight. Oh no, I've seen people on this floor before. I must have just missed it earlier. My apologies. Artea back to his favorite fight. He likes the Red Hydras, but he says no to that one.
Maybe because they seem to have a tendency to ambush.
They've got the ambush on because he's left a dead character in the front. So when it's going to calculate that ambush chance, it's going to use the weak stats from your dead first party member. And so you're going to get more ambushes than you would like at this point in the game if you have a dead character up front.
And Shalicia finds the carry floor.
A dead low-level character up front, which is what he's got. Yeah, he's going to hit up the incentivized item. What could this be? What's still out there?
Especially since he already has enough shards. Although I guess exiting through carry is probably easier than trying to walk back out from wherever this is.
Yeah, I think that was actually what his plan was when he saw that. It doesn't look like he has exit. But he fights off the 2 trap tiles at Wraiths. We're all waiting with bated breath. It's a ribbon. Now that is worthwhile.
Yes, it is.
That's a set of 3, and just about any other piece of gear I would have been like, what a waste of time. But the ribbon, that's good.
Yes.
We'll take that.
And a couple Naochos on Artea's side. That's another about 12,500.
Chump change for this guy now. He's going to take that for sure. Artea is in full grind mode. If you're joining us late, we're about 81 minutes into this shard hunt race. It was a extra shards, but only 24 required. Artea was the first person to meet that quota. And a short Topher with alternate final bosses who are all pretty hard. He grinded up his party, was able to defeat them to get to the final boss, which is Warmech and Friends, 2 Warmechs and 6 Phantoms. And not 6 Phantoms. And
6 evil men.
Excuse me. and they are quite the match. They're not super deadly, they don't have horrible magic, but that's a big party and they all hit pretty hard, so he's gonna go off here and do some serious grinding. Elastoid has also faced that final boss, and obviously has not defeated it either. Shylezia just got enough shards to get into Topher, so we'll see Shy make his first effort in Topher soon. That is a mighty fine-looking gold cutlass swinging carry he's going to take down. And Tyrnix, bringing up the rear on tonight's stream, still has about 16 shards and 8 more to go, give or take.
So try and get 4 more from taking down Kraken.
Observation from chat. This is a really cool race. I agree completely. This race is awesome.
The Zaps taking down the Slimes. Oh my, that's about another 13-6. And Shylezia takes down Carrie. The only one to do so, probably the only one to even find her in the first place, and it was in Mirage Tower this whole time.
Question from chat, what does go mode thing mean? Go mode is just sort of a term given to the point when a runner knows that they know everything they need to know. So there's no more missing things they don't know the whereabouts are. So at that point, they can just do the things they need to do in order and win. Of course, that doesn't mean those things are easy, but it does mean they don't have any more exploring to do or any more questions left to answer. They just have to level up and beat the bosses. And Shy, Elastoid, and Artea are all officially in go mode. Tyrnix is still shard hunting.
Yep, and at this point, all the items you're seeing here are pretty much there for the bonus XP that they give based on our current flag set. All we really need are the shards, and whatever items you need to get more shards.
And if you're watching this for maybe one of the first couple of times going, what is a shard? Shard Hunt is an alternate randomizer-only version of Final Fantasy I, inspired a lot by a similar Triforce Hunt from the Zelda randomizers, where the goal is to collect these shards, and they're meaningless items that replace some of the lower value treasure chests. There's 32 of them in chests throughout the world, and you can gain up to 12 more by defeating the fiends. They only need 24 of those in tonight's race, so there's more than they need out there. And once they have them, they can go to the Temple of Fiends Revisited, which you normally can only enter after you defeat the 4 fiends. So instead of defeating the 4 fiends, you have to collect 24 shards. And that's what tonight's race is all about.
And I see one of Artea's black belts has reached level 40. The other one is at 33, and he's still going. Well, I want at least one of them to hit 42.
Yeah, 42 is a big level for a black belt. That's when they become a half black belt, half demigod, agent of justice. And 32 is also a pretty good level, so to have the backup guy at 32 makes this a very dangerous party.
Question in chat to me directly. Any opinions on Tyrnix's strats? I apologize. I haven't really been watching Tyrnix's side of things. I'm sorry. Though he seems to be on the grind just like everyone else is at the moment. Unless you're referring specifically to having the dead thief at the top, which people seem to have varying opinions on how useful the thief is. Some like them, use them to run from fights and have the potential extra black magic option if for the class change. Some, they're just there to take up space.
Alrighty, Artea's got level 35 and 42, and he's continuing to grind.
Well, the thing is, with Artea's current strategy, he really has no mid-combat healing whatsoever. So I can understand if Artea's current mindset is gain enough levels that I can just tank everything.
Chai once again drops into the Elfland Castle area, looks in both entrances, and then leaves. I think he's forgotten his way around, but here he is. Temple of Fiends are visited, and he's going to enter before Artea wins. So before Artea goes to try to win once again, he's going to clean up the chest. Nobody else even looked in these. There's flame armor.
I saw dragon armor in there too. But I see Shalicia did have the tail. I don't recall anyone ever finding Bahamut.
No.
I'm thinking at this point maybe Bahamut is cube locked. So of course, I don't see anyone out. From what I can tell, nobody has even found the cube either. So. And Artea has completed his grind. This time. We'll see if that was sufficient grinding to take out all of these nasty things.
Taking on the metallic and green Kraken too, on the other side.
And with all these dragon armors and such, I'm sure having the class change, most of our runners probably wouldn't mind that, just so they can actually use all this gear that they're finding.
Yeah, this is a classic case of all the gear and no one to equip it.
Mm-hmm.
We were locked to only having one. Wow, Tyrannex and Artea like side by side parking and heading into Temple of Fiends are visited.
Does Tyrannex have one ghoul unrunnable? Of course. Did Tyrannex have enough shards now?
We're about to find out. Yes, he does.
Oh my! Okay,
that's pretty cool.
We got ourselves a race now.
I don't know if Tyrannex is ready for what he's about to run into in here, but we do have all 4 runners in Temple of Fiends Revisited at exactly the same time, and it's a short Topher. So, I mean, what can you say about that?
But still, seeing everybody in Topher at the same time, it's a nice thing to see. It just gives that thought of anyone can still win.
Anyone can still win. I mean, it's possible. We know that this is a pretty brutal, however short, Topher it is, though. Artea gets through with all 4 party members, so he's got some extra meat shields going into this final Warmech and Friends. He's going to do exactly that. Puts the black mage and the red mage up there. He says, good luck, fellas. You cover us while we lay the beat down.
Well, that's one fast went off.
That's pretty good.
The second one does not.
Not so much. But 541 damage.
Oh, boy.
And 277. Oh, man, those are tough Warmechs. And the evil men just doing chip damage, 20 here, 50 there. That's gonna get you pretty quick. All right, we've got one Warmech down.
One is down. So the Warmechs couldn't have had much more than 1,000 hit points.
Just a stun. It's really the relatively foam Warmechs that are the story here. This could have been a much harder fight if those Warmechs had much up their sleeve, but they're pretty soft.
And that's the second one down. So now it's just down to the evil men.
He's got to mop up these.
Meanwhile, Lastoid has just taken down Lich 2. And Tyrannex is facing off against Lich 2.
With Lich 2 down, Elastoid will be able to get into the final fight here. He's seen it before. He's done all the preparation he could have wanted. But with only 2 evil men remaining, that's the final story. Artea pulls it off, 131-11. Final time is our winner tonight. Just as Lastoid gets to this final battle with a good shot at taking second place. And Tyrannex is on the final battle as well. Look at that.
Nice. First. Well, actually, I don't think that was the first attempt, because that was... The first attempt was against Kraken. The second attempt was doing the Tiamat side.
Yeah, it was a long, protracted battle where he retreated many times to strengthen himself, but eventually the unstoppable might of the level 42 and level 32 black belts prevailed.
Yes, they did.
And we'll see if we can convince Artea to pop in here for a little post-race chat.
Yeah, and Turn X is seeing firsthand just how nasty the Warmex can be. And Elastoid's down to 2 party members. Make that 1. But the evil men are missing, so they Elastoid must have thrown out in 2 in there or some in 2 somewhere. Or maybe not. Well, maybe 1. Because they're definitely not, even the Warmex are not hitting quite as hard.
Now, he's going to stick with this. It's a lot of work to get back to this fight with the short Tophers. He really wants to know if he can kill one of these Warmex. I think it's educational at this point. Like, just how tough are they? They do have quite a bit of HP. Not max, but it's in the ballpark. Boy, 800 damage. He's going to reset out. So he knows the worst they can be. He just needs to get there with a slightly better party. But I think he's confident that he can win if he does.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Shylisia is doing a Topher grind at the trap tile.
Yeah, he found a battle of Frost Giants and Frost Wolves in the trap tile in Temple of Fiends, which is an unusual choice. There's just so many of them. Takes a long time to defeat. Oh, we've actually got him in chat. Artea, that last boss was pretty absurd.
Yep.
Those Warmex could have been much worse, though. They actually weren't hitting that hard, so...
Well, and in truth, the evil men could have been worse, too.
Yeah.
Like, if any of them had stun touch or something like that, that would have just made that fight wholly unreasonable.
It often is. Yeah, Shy got off to a really great start, but you were able to sort of catch up to him when he just kind of slowed down his pace. He didn't really keep it up. He was traveling around and checking stuff, but he wasn't really preoccupied very much with leveling up his party, and so he kind of got stuck and stalled a bit while other people passed by. I wanted to ask you, Artea, if you're listening, did you ever consider that Saria trap tile that you ran into in Ordeals, or was it always going to be that Red Hydra fight?
Meanwhile, Tyrannex is back is discovering the Evil Man Warmech fight. Has Fire 3, although it's did about as much as Ice 2 did.
Alright, here goes the last fight again.
Ah, and Astos had the cube.
Shy going for the full clear props bonus.
He's probably trying to find Bahamut. Because at this point, I'm convinced that it's cube locked at this point.
Yeah, it may well be.
You know, Tyrannex is going around the magic shops, and there's Nuke at 7.
It's learnable. This is exactly the sort of fight where Nuke could be kind of helpful. It was not a good magic seed. That is...
no, it wasn't.
This is the worst magic seed I think I've seen in a long time. The only nice thing was Life 2 at level 2.
Yeah, gotta find the tail. Also, gotta find where Bahamut actually is.
Alright, Shy's about to show us what's behind the cube lock.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe not.
He has the cube. No, he's not feeling it. Oh, Shy, that was torture. Blastoid down to one Light Warrior, but he's got one of those Wormex defeated. Oh, it does a nasty blow to him. Only 399 in retort. It's going to be tricky for him to pull this off here, and it's over.
Yep.
Once again, I want to thank our runners. Blastoid top left corner, Shylezia top right, Tyrnix bottom right. Give all of them a follow. And our champion, Artea, bottom left corner. Blacked out now and nice and quiet. We got to see if we can get the audio switched over because it's just a little too eerie. Aha! Ask and ye shall receive. And Tyrnix headed back into Topher again. It was pretty cool to see all four runners on the final floor of the short Topher at exactly the same time.
Oh yeah, that's always cool. Now at this point, I'm wondering, what is Shylezia looking for? Is he looking for magic, perhaps?
It's a great question. I'm not sure.
Can't learn to heal 3.
Yeah, most of that magic is going to be cut off till promotion. He's got the cube, went all the way to the cube block, and then walked away.
Makes me wonder if we actually, if Shylezia had found where Bahamut was, and we just didn't notice it.
And he's probably looking for Nuke as well. Is it in the level 7 slot that he can learn? No.
Inf 2 is, though.
Alright.
That by itself will definitely help.
Invis 2 could be a big deal. Like, none of those, the Evil Men nor Warmech, really had much in the way of skills to be that worried about. If you could get off enough Invis 2s, you could. It's one of those fights where you can make yourself almost invincible. Having said that, that's no easy task.
And if at the very least you can prevent the Evil Men from doing damage, that by itself will make that fight a heck of a lot easier.
Yeah, the Warmech was not super deadly. It's just they've got you in numbers: 2 Warmechs, 6 Evil Men. It's a brutal battle. It's intentionally really, really cruel. And it's actually
notice that Elastoid's White Mage also has Inf 2.
Yeah, Blastoid has come prepared, just not quite enough levels to get this to go smoothly. This is the best run we've seen yet. It's going to go in there fully stacked. Let's see how this one works out.
Loading up on the Fog 2s as well. May not produce the amount of damage the Warmechs do, but I already see an Evil Man doing 1
lot
damage.
off each hit. Fog 2 combined with Invis 2 is pretty good. They stack and they're like, multiplicative, so I see the appeal.
There's the fast.
And another Invis 2. Okay, this party is borderline unhittable now. If you can just get 1 or 2 more off from the Warmechs, they're down to like 1 or 2 hits. They still do so much damage, but if you can Invis 2 off that last hit or 2, if there's charges for it, it's a big deal. Tier 4, of course, also a great play.
Yes, of course. Meanwhile, Tyrnix is back at the final fight.
Yeah, Elastoid's party is almost a case study on how to use all the white magic there is to beat this fight. Whereas Artea's was a case study of how to get a level 42 black belt and some good turn order rolls. They both work. They take different amount of time to get to, but this can work here.
And
Yeah,
Artea
really
brings
a
up a good
shame.
point.
Yeah.
Artea does bring up a good point. Just what the extent of Warmech's skill list is, but beyond Lit 3, Fire 2, Fire 3, Fire 3. But Tyrannex and Elastoid both have one Warmech down.
It's just crazy that Fade and Nuke were basically out of reach. Almost like a vanilla game. So high level. This fight would have been over with those available. Those evil men would have gone down. Oh, alright. Well, if it's Dr. Dodgeball, you just lost the doctor, so now it's time to switch to the offensive.
Yep. But the what I'm guessing is the thief on the Elastoid side. Bang! Wow. Ooh,
1,300 damage. There goes the Warmech.
This is
tide is turning here.
This is going to be close.
Tella takes one down. Sorry, I keep interrupting you. Go ahead.
This is going to be close. Tyrannex and Elastoid just taking down the evil men now.
It's a race for second. It looks like Elastoid's gonna just nudge Tyrannex out for second.
Yeah, that was close.
43-56. Amazing. One turn later, after that epic battle, 144-11 for Tyrannex. He probably thought he had second place with that kind of race. That's amazing how close that was.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Meanwhile,
Alesia's got to feel a little frustrated to have that one slip away from him. Not only the win, but the podium just on the final battle when he doesn't know it, but had such a good start.
It just he definitely took an early lead on the exploration side. Just didn't quite dig as much as he during that span of time as everyone else did.
All right, we're down to just shy. Or are we? He may be throwing in the towel here. Looks like his timer has stopped.
I see Elastoid's in the waiting room.
Yep. Bring him in. GG Elastoid, you snatched second place from Tyrannex by 20 seconds. Well played game.
I don't know about well played. Anytime you wipe to the final boss as often as I did, you have to feel like you could have done better. But
yeah, that was a pretty hard final boss.
Yeah, everyone had the same issues you did.
Yeah, you know, last 2-3 times that I've run this flag set, the boss at 150% has been sort of a pushover, and I've been thinking, oh, maybe the boss ain't tough enough. Hold off until I run into the dual Warmechs and then see how that goes. And
yeah, that was one of the nastiest 150% bosses I've ever seen. And they didn't even have a lot of bad magic. They were just brutally tough. Tyrannex, GG as well. Third place by a hair, but really, really strong effort in the comeback to make that pretty close for second place. You there, Tyrannex? Maybe not. So, you went back, leveled up, came back, went back, leveled up, came back. Did you have a target in mind? Like, we noticed that you finished him off with a nice balance of Invis 2, Fog 2, Cure 4, just laying, like, really leveraging the white magic. Was that the plan all along?
I had to keep the white range alive because I didn't expect that I could get out the fighter. Mage got a few extra levels just from that. I didn't know what was in that slot. I was just crap tiles, and I got sort of lucky with the gray peeds.
Yeah, that one wasn't too bad. There was some pretty good fights on the Bridge of Destiny too, like for our Hydras that was people were using, but it wasn't really a trap tile. There wasn't a great trap tile anywhere, and so everybody had to really scramble to gain levels.
Yeah, I wound up wiping to the Gurpedes and felt like an idiot. Like,
and no fade, no nuke. It was just out of reach in level 7. Like, very frustrating Magic Seed.
Magic. I mean, there would have been if somebody like dug out the tail, then they could go in with nuke and make easy work out of that seed. But
thing is, Shylisia did end up finding the tail. I don't think we ever actually saw where Bahamut was. I suspect that it was behind the Q block, but
yeah, nobody ever even found Bahamut. So the tail, forget that. Doesn't even matter. But
yeah, when you find Radiance for sale, you're like, okay, go.
Yeah, the Mass Moons for sale was nice, right? Like just sitting there in Elfland on the shelf for 21 grand.
That's value right there.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I one for everyone in the family. Yeah, I'll take 2 every day of the week. Get 3 on Sunday.
I was quite pleased that the first chest that we found had a Vorpal that we could sell.
Controversial, but valuable. No, I mean, in this
party, that is the most useful a Vorpal has ever been in the seed right there. It allows you to buy all your spells.
Yeah, well, after level 1, you hardly even needed any spells. It was just awful Magic Seed. All right. Well, 2 hours in on Saturday night showtime. Thank you, everyone, for joining. We had Elastoid, Jalesia, Tiernex, and Artea was our champion on stream tonight. My co-commentator was Melee Wizard. I am Nitz Dangwu, did a great job on tracking. Tracking Floor Shuffle is a nightmare. Throw in Shard Hunt, which just adds all this other random garbage you got to pay attention to. Did a great job. Randomania for hosting us. It's always a pleasure to put on these shows. Audience was great, and I just want to thank everybody involved. I hope you enjoyed the show. And Melee, any final thoughts tonight?
This is pretty much what you can expect from Enter Shuffle. It's just chaos all over the place, not just at the final battle in